Super Set King, aka Mr. Get Your Tank Top Ready. Coming to you fine people today with some sneaker talk. My sneaker partner in crime is here. He's here in the honeycomb hideout in the weight room.
Yes, sir. Yes,
all right, we back in this thing, man. We know there's a lot of sneaker discussion going on, man. Yeah. We're gonna talk about this Dick's Sporting Good buying out Foot Locker, my boy. What you think about this?
Man, I was surprised. I'm gonna be honest, I was surprised, but I know it kind of goes back to something that you talked about, like the mixture with, and I think I saw you say something about it on the video, the mixture with sporting goods and sneakers and all that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's good, man. I think it's good. I've never purchased anything from Dick's outside of sporting goods needs, but I know back in the day when I was coming up, the hottest place to buy sneakers from was a sporting goods store.
Say it again.
Like Columbia, you already
say
know.
it again. See?
You already know.
Say it again.
You already know Todd and Moore. If you from Columbia or you lived in the city long enough, Todd and Moore used to be the spot. At sporting goods, like you can buy anything you know. I used to go buy my football gloves, sweatbands and stuff I needed, and I got my first pair of new Jordans from Todd and Moore. So yeah, I'm like, shoot, it might be good to be able to bring it back. I think Todd and Moore slipped when they stopped selling Nike, but I think this will be.
They didn't stop selling Nike. What Nike did was what they always do. They forgot about the mom and pop stores, and they went to the mall. And when you done, I'm gonna go through this whole history.
Yeah, I can't wait. Because you gonna know a little bit more about me. I mean, more about that than me because when that was going, when Todd and Moore had Jordans, because I remember the days of people like they used to come out on like a Wednesday and they come out on Saturday.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's for sure.
And Todd and Moore was the spot to do it because, matter of fact, it was a little bit less expensive than everybody else's on too. So I think just if they can bring that vibe back and give me that word, that famous N word, I like that nostalgia.
Yeah, I gotta keep it a whole 100 with you, y'all. If anybody go back, I'm gonna post up my old video from 2020. Okay. Basically when they said that Nike was pulling back some of their stock from Foot Locker, right?
I remember that.
Remember Foot Action closed behind that because you know Foot Action was up under Foot Locker.
Right.
What we have here is again, this gonna be Nike doing that.
Get the flip-flop shit on me.
That flip-flop shit, right? So, okay, history lesson for y'all, okay? For all your favorite YouTubers, somebody take notes. I need all y'all to take notes. For even the people you think know about shoes, take some notes. Nike was a sports brand shoe. It was for athletes. You would find them at the sporting goods stores first. Right.
Message.
Most of your sporting goods stores was located usually in downtown.
Right.
Then somebody went and put a place out in the suburbs called a mall.
Right.
Okay? Y'all got me so far. Right. So what Nike did, being Nike, because they got to be big time, they forgot about those sporting goods stores. Right. Now, these sporting goods stores was the one who knew everything about the shoes. Right. They could tell you about the cowhide. They'd tell you about the technology. They would go through all that back then because it's a big deal because they were selling these shoes. Unlike most of y'all think how they look, they were basketball shoes. Right. So they could tell you about what running shoes and they know what one that fits you. These were really professionals back then. Right. So what Nike did, because they looking at their money, they like, hey, you know, you too small now. We're going over here, we're gonna put them in the mall. Foot Locker was a big deal. But y'all saw the writing on the wall with Foot Locker. What Foot Locker said a while back, maybe 2-3 years back, they were gonna close 400 stores. Yeah. All right. I thought that they had got over the hump because New Balance started coming up. They started investing in New Balance and Puma, but obviously it wasn't enough. What y'all don't know is this. I used to date a girl who worked at Foot Locker years ago, probably about 20-something years ago. Nike and Foot Locker been doing this for a long time. Oh yeah. Because Nike been basically bullying Foot Locker to take certain shoes. They've been like, you gotta take these trainers and all that. Or we're gonna cut back on your stock.
I've definitely heard that before.
So, you know what I mean? So it gets to a point when they did what they did, the straw that broke the camel back is when COVID hit and everybody started ordering online. They're like, we don't need y'all no more. Yeah. We're going back to direct to customer. That's what they did. Yeah. That fell in their face. We talked about how that fell in their face, right? So, okay. Dick's Sporting Goods, they say, well, we're going to invest in Dick's Sporting Goods. Guess why? Dick's Sporting Goods didn't have the same relationship to Foot Locker. You got to understand, Foot Locker been there for a long time, so they feel like they're a player too.
Absolutely.
So they weren't just going to take, Nike jump.
Absolutely.
But Dick's would. Because guess what we said? When they started saying they were going to send more, they started Dick's Sporting Goods, that was the first sign that you knew, okay, that's where they're leaning. And that's where we are now. Kind of, it's like, if you know anything about any mafia movies, they basically gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. 2.9 billion?
Yeah, man, but when I was listening to you talk, a lot of things started coming to mind because I think I said something about Tyler Moore earlier.
Yeah.
And I remember you talked about New Balance.
Yes.
Man, you go in Tyler Moore, it's a whole section, like at one point, the one they had on O'Neal Court, it was a whole side of Tyler Moore that had strictly nothing but New Balance in there. Mm-hmm. And that was after the Nike thing.
They took it back. Yeah. Nike took it back. Nike used to be everywhere. Nike used to be at Sears.
JCPenney too.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Like they did was they cornered the market.
Right.
Foot Lockers, your Foot Actions, and all the Finish Lines, and all these places that. Let me tell y'all something that make y'all laugh. Y'all know Foot Locker used to be like a sporting goods store too, right?
Message.
That's something else. Yeah.
They went away from that because they blew up with Nike.
Yeah.
Foot Locker would sell you cleats. They would sell you shoestrings. They would sell you wristbands.
Right.
I bought them. Right. Headbands. They would sell you football stuff.
So answer this for me.
Go ahead.
So has Champs, now this is something I don't know. Has Champs always been in a Foot Locker umbrella?
That I don't know.
Okay. The reason why
because they probably were, and then Foot Locker bought up everybody. They used to be the big dog.
But the reason why I asked that question because of the point you just made. I remember in Columbiana Mall, they had two Champs stores. They had a Champs and they had a Champs Sports.
Oh, okay, yeah. They wanted the sports.
And the Champs Sports, you could buy shoes, but it had sporting goods
equipment. Yeah.
And eventually they shut that one down, and then it just was
because the real money, if you think about it, the real money was just in the shoes.
Okay.
Eventually, basically they made it so when you went to a sporting goods store, it was just for sporting goods stuff.
Right.
It wasn't like you were getting shoes anymore because shoes became like this popular everyday everybody sneakers thing.
Right.
Y'all gotta understand a long time ago.
Right.
Your parents. They wore sneakers that they call them. We call tennis shoes in Georgia. They tennis shoes in Georgia. Yeah. You wore tennis shoes when you were going to the gym or something. These people were wearing loafers and these women wearing flats and all kind of stuff. It was different times back then. Yeah. And eventually sneakers got to be to where they are now. When we came up, and that's because of what we did in our time, we wore them all the time. And that's how it evolved to what you're looking at today. Right. But like I said in an earlier video, what goes around comes around. Now it's going back to the sporting goods store. And it's not because they want to take it there because now the sporting good people are going to give us better service or the sporting good people are going to be able to, tell us more about the shoes. Right. It's simply because Dick's is going to be able to take whatever Nike throw at them. They're going to say, yeah, we'll take those prices. We'll do this and do that. Foot Locker like, nah, I'm not going for that, man. I've been here since the beginning with you. We grew up together. They like, we grew up together. You ain't just finna son me.
Man, it's great news, but I hate it at the same time because there used to be a Dick's like 10 minutes from my house.
Is it gonna be great news or not, though?
I mean,
tell you the reason why I'm scared.
Okay.
So somebody went in my comments and said he just went to Dick's and he said that he didn't get good service at Dick's. Now, I personally had good service at Dick's. I bought my Jordan 38s from Dick's. Mm-hmm. They seem to kind of have an idea at Dick's what they doing, a little bit of an idea. But my advice to Dick's is gonna be this. When it comes to shoes, okay, get someone over there who's seasoned, who knows about the shoes. It will help you if you do that. I'm telling you now, get somebody who know what they're doing.
Well, when you said good service, like, was it like a bad experience with the person or?
I say he had two bad experiences. That's what he put in my comments. Now, I can't go into detail, but my point is, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A ain't Chick-fil-A because they got the best food. I'm sorry. Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A because they got the best service. And people gonna understand real quick what the economy rate is. Yeah. You gonna get somebody some service for their money because people work hard for their money. So my thing is, will this be a good thing? I think they kind of eliminated, and I don't want to go way off this. I think they kind of eliminated a lot of the riffraff that happened in the mall too.
I think
about it like this. Dick's Sporting Good, they got some in malls. We know that.
Yeah.
But Dick's Sporting Goods in this area is its own build, its own place.
Right.
Think about people go to the mall to hang out and stuff. When you go to Dick's, ain't gonna be no whole bunch of crazy riffraff because you going for what you going for, right?
I'm going for it, and I'm getting on.
And you out of here, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of eliminate a little bit of the riffraff with it being at, say, a Dick's Sporting Good.
Well, to me, it's great news only if it's not taken away from anything else. And what I mean by that is it's providing another option, another avenue to get what you want, but you still got those other spots that still get that stop.
I don't think he provide. I think we're gonna lose our icon, dog.
Okay.
I think y'all gotta understand. I grew up with Foot Locker. Them stripes on them shirts was something I've been going through, and this is no lie. I still remember them shoes sitting in their little. They used to have shoes in a circle.
Yeah.
No, they would sit in a circle. Like they would have Foot Locker. You had these shoes. They be displayed on a little circle.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I go way back. I go all the way back. When they had fucking real lockers in there. Like they had lockers in there. Like I go that far back. With head. I remember my uncle was in high school. He would go get his headbands and wristbands.
Yeah.
For Friday nights on the lights, you know what I mean? So that's my point. Foot Locker was like that store that everybody grew up with. And to lose Foot Locker, to lose East Bay, to lose Foot Action, the one thing I say about getting old is as you get older, you just gonna keep losing stuff.
Now that one hurt because I used to, man, when I was a kid, I used to love knowing I wasn't gonna buy that.
Yeah.
I used to love getting the magazines in the mail just because it had my name on it. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that's gone. Like I said, we're gonna continue. We don't know. Yeah. We don't know where we hit. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I know where we headed. Right. At the end of the day, we're headed to everything being online.
Right.
And let's go back to my last pre video. Y'all check that out. I said, you know what happened to service and shoe stores. I think it's a combination of just the bad service, the raffles, the back door, and all this other craziness. I think it has led to this. Yeah. But I think, like everything in life, it'll work itself out over time. Yeah, I think it'll work itself out over time. But yeah, I think, let them know if anything you got to say less. But I think that's it, my boy. I think Dick's Sporting Goods now. We're going to look forward to it. I hope Dick's Sporting Goods, which I know they will. You better be ready for the lines on release day. Or either you going to keep the raffles going. But I think realistically, they do the raffles. Like I say, I had no issues the day I went and bought my 38s. It was actually 2 people in there trying to help me. Yeah. So like I say, I've had no issues with them. But some people say they have. Leave some comments. Yeah. Tell me, how do you feel about Dick's Sporting Goods buying Foot Locker? And what do y'all think what's going to happen to the shoe game in the next 2, 3, maybe 5 years? But always remember over here, we keep the body tight, feet right. Later.